Hey everybody, Puzzle Max here. So the other day I was browsing Amazon. I don't have Prime, sue me, and needed to make the $35 limit to get free shipping. I found what I needed, still needed about 10 bucks. And so I decided to do a quick browse of my history and what I'd looked at before. Came across a wonderful book by the name Manish Rathod called One Turn at a Time: How a Rubik's Cube at 45 Changed Everything. Manish Rathod is an amazing puzzle designer who is better known by the name ManQube on the Twisty Puzzle Forum and a lot of other social media platforms. And after buying his book, it dawned on me, well, Max, if you're going to have the man's book in your collection, you probably need to have a couple of his puzzles in your collection as well. So I went on onto the cubicle.com and found the two mass-produced puzzles that Manish has put out. This is the Manish Hexacopter and the Manish Cubo-Copter Plus. These are both modifications of Curvy Copter puzzles, the standard Curvy Copter over here, and the Curvy Copter Plus on this side. So today I'm going to be taking a look at both of these puzzles, showing you the book a little bit. I haven't read the book yet, haven't played with either of these puzzles yet, but I'm not just going to be giving my first impressions or anything like that. I'm also going to give a quick demo of both of these puzzles next to their base puzzles, the Curvy Copter and the Curvy Copter Plus. Manish has done amazing things in the puzzle community. He's always putting out some new shape mod. I swear you could give that man a 3x3 and a shape, and he could figure out how to make it work in that shape. It's just the way his brain works. He's done amazing things. These two were picked up by Calvin's Puzzles and mass-produced. They've sold incredibly well, and the book itself has also sold really, really well and has gotten great reviews from puzzle solvers and from people completely unrelated to the puzzle community who have just read the book and think that he's explained things really well. And it's kind of it's not really an autobiography. It's more just kind of a memoir of what he's done after discovering twisty puzzles and how it's changed his life and impacted his life in a positive way. So definitely recommend all this stuff. There'll be links down below because it's all good stuff, and you got to love supporting a puzzle designer that has this kind of dedication to this stuff. So the book, first things first, is called One Turn at a Time: How a Rubik's Cube at 45 Changed Everything. And Manish Rathod, it's actually got a picture of the hexacopter on the front. If you take a look there, you can see the little demo pictures. And it's basically just kind of at 45, Manish Rathod was doing everything right. Successful career, stable life, a man who met his numbers, paid his bills, and sat in his driveway every evening, engine off, house lit, unable to explain why he couldn't go inside. Then a delayed flight, a bored afternoon, a small colorful cube in an airport on an airport counter. He picked it up, he never really put it down. What followed no one could have predicted. A self-taught designer with no engineering degree and no formal training, Manish went on to create over 150 puzzle designs, with nearly 90 archived in the international renowned Twisty Puzzle Museum. His invention, the Manish Hexacopter, is today sold across 18 countries. He has been profiled by the Times of India, Hindustan Times, and the Indian Express, and receives an annual invitation to the New York Puzzle Party. He started at 45, no credentials, no plan, no map. One Turn at a Time is not a book about puzzles. It is a book about the life that becomes possible when you finally pick up the thing you were always meant to hold and refuse to put it down. For everyone who parked in the driveway a little too long. It's got his ManQube logo down here at the bottom. You'll find that on social media, wherever you find him. So I'm looking forward to reading this. These actually arrived today, all at the same time, so gotta love when things just work out. This should be a great read. I look forward to taking a look at it, getting a little deeper in that. So let's set that aside for a moment and take a look at the first puzzle here, which is the Manish Hexacopter. Like I said, this is a shape mod of your standard Curvy Copter puzzle. Edge-turning cubic puzzle with all 12 edges being able to turn. One thing that no one has brought up about this puzzle in specific detail that, in my opinion, makes the Hexacopter a 1,000 times more impressive than your standard Curvy Copter is the lack of collision. On a Curvy Copter, if I make this edge turn, I can no longer make this turn. That turn is completely blocked by that edge that I've already turned. You can fudge it, but it's not meant to do that. On the Hexacopter, ManQube did a little bit of extra moving and fudging and made it so that I can make this edge turn and then cleanly make this edge turn with no collision on the middle there. You can see right through them. That plays true around the entire puzzle. I can do the same with this one here that turns on a full front edge, just like that. And then back here, I can make this turn collision free. You can see right through. There's a little gap there. That to me is beyond impressive, because the fact that it works throughout the entire puzzle, you have 4 different styles of edge here. You got these 2 that also are collision free. That little detail in itself means that the scrambling of this puzzle is going to be so much easier and lead to so much more complicated, jumbled possibilities. On this puzzle, you're pretty limited to how you jumble, because once you take it out of shape, I can no longer turn this, I can no longer turn this, and that applies all around. I can't even turn this. But when you come over here to the Hexacopter, if I take this out of shape with just a simple jumbling turn, it's out of shape, a lot of stuff is out of place. Down here, where this piece is moved, this piece acts as a corner, I can still make this turn completely. This puzzle turns really smoothly. There's some catching here and there, but there's lots of stuff going on, different shapes and things like that. And back here, I can turn that. It works so well. The fact that there's no bandaging, no catching, just is incredibly awesome on a puzzle like this. Basically, the way this works is on the top face, it's pretty obvious. Let's see, this is going to be kind of hard to see, so I'll back things up on the camera here. These little pieces here are your true edges that do not move. They stay in the same position. That's the same with these big yellow ones all around here that have these smaller pieces attached. This one has 2 colors because of the way it works with these 2 rectangular faces. Back here, the orange one has a single color, and this one has 2 colors as well. Those are the same. And then the other edges that you've got are these ones here, where they have one big flat color on a rectangular face and one small color on a rectangular face. That's still equivalent to this edge piece. Works the same way, just turns like an edge. Then on the top here, you've got the wing pieces. These pieces here are your wings on a standard helicopter puzzle. Curvicopter. These ones here on the hexagon faces are the wings. Those are easy to spot, obvious. But as you go around the rest of the puzzle, things get a little more confusing, and you kind of have to make a turn to really see, or you have to find your corners first. So on the Curvicopter, you can see that the corner is attached to 3 wings. Always, always, always. So these corners, obvious, 3 colors, whatever. These pieces here, with 2 colors, and one being a kind of a curved rectangle and one being a triangle, those are your corners all around this puzzle. Those are the same shape on every face, no matter what you're looking at, because there's only 8 of them. So they're the same shape. So if you find a corner, then it's easy to identify that there's 3 wings attached. So this purple and yellow piece here is a wing. This red, purple, and yellow piece here is a wing. And then this solid yellow one is a wing. So your wing pieces have all kinds of different shapes, which means that when this puzzle is scrambled, it's going to look incredibly insane. I won't be scrambling either of these on camera, but I will be doing some extra turns and jumbling and show you how things work. On a standard Curvicopter, one of the most useful tools is called the jumble move, where you turn one edge off and then the other edge off, and then turn this up front edge 180 degrees. Not only does that swap these 2 pieces, but leaves them in the same orbit, but it takes this piece and this piece out of their original orbits. So I cannot get this yellow piece back to this position without doing a jumble move. That plays true on here. So if I turn this up to this position, and then this piece down to this position, now I can do that same exact jumble move. But because of the way this puzzle works, and the fact that everything is a different shape, these pieces are still in their original orbits. I can get this back where it belongs without issue. This piece and this piece have gone and swapped across and changed orbits. I can never get this blue piece back to this position without doing another jumble move. But the fact that there's no collision means that I can still make this turn. So even though that this piece is a completely different shape and out of place, I can still always make every possible turn on this puzzle. As long as you have a completed turn on your edges, you'll be guaranteed to be able to make every turn on this puzzle. That's an amazing extra feature. Big shout outs to ManQube for bringing that into this puzzle. So undo that jumbling turn, and there you have it. One of the other really helpful moves on your standard Curvy-Copter is called a double jumble, where you do that original jumble move, and then you do it again, but from the opposite direction. And what that does is it swaps your corners, and it also rotates this edge piece right in the middle. That same exact move will work on this puzzle. If I do that, and then turn this edge 180 degrees, put that back, and then turn this edge up and this edge down, turn that again, and then bring these back where they belong, and rotate this. You can see that it put these wings back where they belong, but it swapped these two corners, and this edge has rotated 180 degrees. Fantastic. And again, that edge doesn't block anything else anywhere on the puzzle, nor do the corners. They're still perfectly functional. Big shout outs to Mr. Manish Rathod, ManQube. You've done an amazing job here. I was honestly like little kid on Christmas when I opened these boxes and truly saw that they were collision free, because that is just makes these puzzles so much more entertaining. So this puzzle, the Manish Hexacopter, 5 out of 5, 5 stars. This is an amazing complete redo of your standard Curvy-Copter puzzle. The fact that he's made it enough changes to create a completely new functionality on it is awesome, and it's still going to function exactly like this, but because there's extra colors in different places, these colors can potentially, this can be over here, this can be over here, there can be some false equivocation, I think. There may be different shapes, I'm not exactly sure. But there's potential false equivocation on these, but over here, these have to be the only place they can go. Same with these. So this is a unique solve. Even though you'll use all of the techniques from your regular Curvy-Copter puzzle, this is a completely unique solve. Nothing else will solve like this. And because it's non-collision, it's collision-free, there's also going to be a ton more out-of-cube positions that you can get this puzzle into. So getting it back to puzzle shape is going to be a real challenge. You'll have to ignore the corners because they're going to be flipped until the very end, but you'll have to get all of the wing pieces back where they belong as you go. So it's not even going to be completely back to puzzle shape until you finish the solve. So it's awesome. 5 stars completely. Next up, we've got the Cubo-Copter Plus, which is his wonderful take on the Curvy-Copter Plus. Same concept. He took the Curvy-Copter Plus, which, unlike your standard Curvy-Copter, has an extra cut. So these inside wings, these little inside triangles, can actually move. Those are equivalent to the inside triangles on all of the square faces. All of the square faces act as the inside parts of these. These pieces here on all of your square faces are your edges. These two color pieces that look like edges are in fact these little wing pieces here on the standard helicopter or Curvy-Copter Plus. And then these solid color triangular pieces on the triangle faces are your corners. So there's one less step involved with this, because all you've got to do is get these corners back where they belong. You won't have to worry about orienting them. But that also leads to the potential for a parity, because since these triangle pieces, these inside pieces here, can take place of a corner, just like they can over here, you can end up with a situation where one of these will be rotated incorrectly, but all of your corners will look correct, because of the false equivocation ability of these corners not having a true orientation. So that's a cool little extra, not really parity, but just confusing potential that will show up here. So what this does is, on your standard Curvy-Copter Plus, if you do a partial turn on any edge, turn that off, and then complete that 180-degree turn, and then bring things back, you can see that that corner and that edge, or that inside triangle, have swapped positions. Once again, this puzzle is collision-free, so I can make all of these turns without worrying about that. That's another great addition to this, because if you'll notice here, as soon as that's out of place, I can no longer turn any of these pieces. Bandages things all like crazy. The same plays true for the inside triangles. If this inside triangle were in position but rotated incorrectly, it also creates bandaging, which, if you've solved a Curvy-Copter Plus, you know from just experience that getting this back to puzzle shape can be the most frustrating thing in the entire world, because of these little triangles that will get in the way and prevent you from making a necessary turn. You will not have that issue on the Cubo-Copter Plus, because you can just make free turns wherever things work. So same basic thing here. If I do that partial turn, turn this bottom edge off, and then complete that 180, and then bring this back and bring this back, you can see that the little triangle that was up here and the corner that was here have swapped places. But I still have free range of motion on everything surrounding that corner. This puzzle, in my opinion, is a better representation of the mechanism used by the Curvy-Copter Plus. This is a fun puzzle, but this is incredibly frustrating because of the bandaging and collision that happens. The lack of collision on this puzzle, paired with the extra colors and the amount of things going on, I can say with 100% confidence I will have more fun solving the Cubo-Copter Plus than I do solving this, because of just the extra freedom that this gives you. Sure, the difficulty level may be about the same, but when it comes down to just straight up range of motion, freedom of the solve, this puzzle is going to be more fun to play with and to solve. That lack of collision makes all the difference. And I've said collision a million times in this video, and I apologize, but that really is a huge selling point for me on these. All of the edges on this, unlike on the Hexacopter, all of the edges on the Cubo-Copter Plus are identical. So they're the same shape. And all of the wing pieces, which are these little two-color edge-looking pieces, are the same shape as well. So this one may be a little easier to keep track of as you're going, but you'll still have to use the edges as your guide, just like you will here. You'll have to use the edges in order to figure out what faces need to be what colors and go from there, because there's so many colors going on here. The colors are great, by the way. The stickers are great quality. Again, I got this from the Cubicle, but these are produced by Calvin's Puzzles, which runs out of the HK Now store in China. So the sticker quality is great on these. They're all nice and centered, placed well, and logos here and there all over the place. So you got to love that, especially when the turning quality and the sticker quality is top notch. I've always had good experience with Calvin's puzzles, so you got to appreciate that. But yeah, these puzzles are awesome. They work very, very well next to their base models. But my opinion on both of these is that the slight changes that ManQube made when producing these puzzles made such a difference in the performance, because you will have so much more freedom in getting these back to the correct shapes and just where you can put pieces, whether it be jumbling or mixing them up or even just during the solve. You'll have a lot more fun being able to move every edge, well, face, turnable spot, every turnable thing whenever you want, because you won't have to worry about things getting in the way of those turns. So helicopter cubes, curvy copter cubes, fantastic. They're always within arm's reach. I play with them a lot. But I look forward to moving things around and having a shelf in my collection dedicated to Mr. Manish Rathod, ManQube. Huge shout out if you check this video out. 5 stars, you get an awesome positive review. Your book and your puzzles will certainly be living together on my shelf and be easy access. I look forward to scrambling both of these. Hopefully, there'll at least be a walkthrough solve in the future. Who knows? They're going to be a fun little challenge, and I really think that I'll enjoy solving both of them just as much, if not more, than I do the base puzzles. So again, thank you for checking this out. Check these puzzles out. Links to the puzzles at the Cubicle will be in my description, and links to the book at Amazon will be in my description as well. So check those out, grab them for yourself. They're certainly going to be worth it. And with that, I'll let you get back to your puzzles, and as always, happy solving.